don't want the psychotic, so I don't want to.
Let's make our voices heard. All right, let's get going. International Women's Day just for this reason. To remember the women of Shirtwaist Triangle Factory Fire, to remember the horrible labor conditions, to remember the women that work, the sweat that women put into their labor to get to where we are today. I would like to start a new chant at some point that say, the women make our union strong. Because it's not just the sweat of our unions, the sacrifices they've made, it's the sweat and sacrifices of everyone. I'm going to turn over the mic now to Pat Calcina.
That you all have created and sustained has made a space for all of us. And today, as we continue this struggle, we join together to celebrate International Women's Day. I would like to take a moment to bring forth the strength and the energy of sisters from the early U.S. labor movement who never gave in and never gave up. Many of these women made the connection between a bloated war machine, corporate thievery, women's rights, and workers' rights. Many attempted to create broad coalitions of workers, regardless of race, ethnicity, or the kind of work being done, much as we have done here in Madison, Wisconsin. Is by a strong working class movement. Give up, never give in, never give up, never give in, never give up.
My name is Esther Dinor. I'm a public employee, and I also do a call-in show on WORT 89.1
and in greater depth than men. All eyes are Wisconsin nowadays, because it is a proving ground for the plan that has been hatched and carried out by the incredibly rich, the Tea Party, which they created and are financing, and the lunatic fringe of the GOP, represented right here by our new governor. All are one and the same. And that plan is to implement in the United States the kind of programs they've employed throughout the third world. In this model, the Western world supports a very small and very wealthy ruling class in countries that have been depleted by the West of their natural resources. The citizens of these countries become ever poorer, and as their economies fail, the West comes in again through international financial institutions and lends money to the ruling class, which in turn agrees to austerity programs. Not for themselves. They implement austerity on their citizens, so that whatever social programs there used to be are now eliminated, and poverty reigns supreme. Children die of hunger, young girls work for 14 hours a day, girls, boys, and women are forced into prostitution, epidemics spread, violence rules the streets. In such situations, people take jobs that pay $1 or $2 a day. They sell their children to serve and be abused by the ruling class. They agree to take contaminated and radioactive trash. They're easy to repress, because when you're hungry and have no home, healthcare, education, or hope, you'll do whatever it takes to get these things for a while, until you rebel. And we've been seeing people rebelling against this for quite a while now throughout the third world, and we're seeing it now. As the third world refuses to continue playing this part in the tragedy that the very rich have authored, the chickens are starting to come home to roost. Why not implement this in the United States, say the Koch brothers? Boo. And Walker answers, I'm happy to be the despot who will implement it for you. Boo. And we get the budget repair bill. Well, what is there to repair? There is no financial crisis in Wisconsin or the United States. The money that we had 3 and 10 years ago is still here. It did not disappear underground. It did not evaporate. It went into the pockets of Wall Street bankers and the likes of the Kochs, who in turn have even more money with which to buy politicians. Money was taken from us by those who already are obscenely rich, just like in the third world. Add to that the tax cuts for those same rich. They don't pay taxes, nor do they participate in the sacrifice that they ask us to carry. These cuts, which have been growing annually for many years, at least since the Reagan years, together with the money that they stole, have created this supposed crisis. It's an easy crisis to fix. Let the banks and the huge corporations which we bailed out return the money that we gave to them. And let the corporations, 2/3 of which do not pay any tax at all, start paying their fair share. That's the rich! In this dream world of the rich and the Republicans, which is a nightmare for the rest of us, those who still have a job will have no disposable income and so will not be able to buy things. Small businesses will go belly up one after the other. The owners of these businesses might eventually lose their homes and move into ever-growing homeless camps. Their kids hungry at home will not be fed at school either, and the schools, with 50 children to a classroom with one tired and frustrated teacher who has no aids or other help, will become battlegrounds. There will be roads, since the right to exploit and pollute the earth until the last drop of carbohydrates has been extracted and used is sacred to the Kochs and the Republicans. But most of us won't have the wherewithal to use these roads. And we won't have public transportation. Our beautiful and precious environment will be sold for pennies to polluters, along with our public utilities. As for healthcare, without bargaining rights, the thing that is considered a basic human right throughout the Western world and much of the rest of the world will not be available to the majority of Wisconsinites, and eventually that industry will go belly up too. And those employed in it will become unemployed. But our rulers will make sure that we get pregnant non-stop by making family planning and contraception unavailable and abortion illegal. Women will again die in unsanitary and dangerous abortion mills. Yes, Walker and his supporters are pre-lifers, loving a child until she or he are born. We will be a third world banana republic if he has his way. But no, this scheme isn't working as planned. We are blessed to see Wisconsin wake up and refuse to be kicked to the ground.
Go Wisconsin!
Wisconsinites, who are generally very polite and averse to conflict, have risen to the challenge. Thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands have been coming from all over the state to tell Scott Walker that we won't let him trash this beautiful land, no take away our right to decent lives. And we are doing it peacefully. This bill is full of dangerous, horrible initiatives. It's incumbent upon us to make sure that the unions do not settle on collective bargaining and go home. We must not allow for any concessions. The bill has to go, all of it. All eyes are on Wisconsin. It's our role to show this country and the world that we understand the conniving of the ruling class and we won't allow it to manifest. We will fight back without violence. We will fight with love and determination, for we know what's right and we know how to get there with our hands clean. On Wisconsin!
Will not cover up the decay, Scott Walker, you are trying to bring to our democracy. You wicked man, you must think that we will not organize, that we will not stop this state ourselves. More than 50% of the workforce are women. We are the sleeping giant, awakening to your sick and twisted course of action, Scotty. Your soul is poison. Scotty, your mind is poison. Scotty, your tongue is poison. We mothers will take you over our knee. We will wash your mouth out with soap. We will slap the poison out of you like your mother should have done years ago. We will rebuke your snake-like tongue in God's name, you Antichrist, distinguishing yourself as a second coming. Our children will never be chained to this police state you're trying to create. We will evacuate this state. Just try it, Scotty, you Walker devil. You are death to us. You are death to all that is holy. We women, we iron-jawed angels will chew you up and spit. Spit on these mics till no woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. Let's change it up. All women, all power. Let's sing it together. All women, all power. All women, all power. All women, all power. Because I heard that Scott Walker was likening himself to doing God's will. And that is so not true. Like I said, we will rebuke you and your snake-like tongue in God's name, you Antichrist, distinguishing yourself as the second coming. Our children will never be chained to this police state you are trying to create. Thank you.